Why we're hearing this furor over whether or not Cohen's going to be, replacing the lawyers that are McDermott, Will, and Emery that are currently representing him. I mean, here's the bottom line, Chris. It's expensive. I mean, these lawyers in Washington and New York are charging upwards of almost $1,000 an hour to be able to represent Michael Cohen. So it could just be something as simple as the almighty dollar, and that is the reason why Cohen is dropping these lawyers on Friday. But here's a possible wrinkle. It could be the lawyers dropping Mr. Cohen, actually. So,
well, they had a look at all, they've been looking, Katie, they've been looking at all that stuff. All those tape recordings, all that stuff, all this perhaps payoff information, all the Russian connection. This could be just too much to handle for these people.
I don't think it's from a quantitative standpoint it's too much. I think it could be from an actual ethical standpoint that it could be too much. Remember, when you hire a lawyer as a client, you make representations to that attorney. But attorneys have ethical obligations that are higher and beyond the client. And so if Michael Cohen, while his team of lawyers have been going through millions of documents and only a tiny percentage of them have deemed to be privileged, can you imagine what these lawyers have seen? So it could be an issue where the lawyers themselves cannot continue to represent Mr. Cohen because of what they've discovered. Or it could be the lawyers for Cohen have said, Michael Cohen, you need to cooperate. You should take a deal. You don't have an opportunity to really fight this. And Cohen could say, hey, you know what? I'm a fixer. I don't have to take a deal. Who knows? There could be a strategic decision in terms of a no meeting of the minds, irreconcilable differences, as we call it sometimes, when we as lawyers dump our clients. It could be a lot of reasons. We hear it's money. In fact, today, Judge Kimba Wood, in that Southern District of New York case with Michael Cohen, issued an order, sua sponte, meeting on her own, and she basically said, hey, parties, don't forget, you got to pay that special master her money when it comes due. So who knows if it's related to the money. It could be something more than that. But we do know that today, Michael Cohen was in California meeting with his lawyers in the Stormy Daniels case. So it's not just this Southern District of New York case that Michael Cohen has going on. He has defamation, Stormy Daniels, and the Mueller investigation.
Petty or Grant, let me go to Congressman Strolls. Is this a case where the hardball being played by Mueller is going to pay fruit? They're going to get information from Michael Cohen.
He better start talking soon, because the longer he waits, the more they question his motivations to cooperate. But Chris,
what do you mean by that? If he switches now, is it too late to be credible?
No. And there are people who've done very bad things who can still be honest about what they saw around them. Happens all the time. We prove a lot of cases
Valachi
doing that way. Yeah, it happens all the time. But Chris, take a step back here. The president has a fixer. Innocent people don't have fixers. The last president who had a fixer, he didn't fare so well. And so I think this guy knows a lot.
Who was the last president with a fixer?
I think it was probably Richard Nixon, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, did fare so well. So he's seen a lot. He knows a lot. If he starts talking, I think the president's in real trouble. From what we saw in our Intelligence Committee investigation, what little we saw about Michael Cohen, he was all too willing and eager to work with the Russians. It's just the Republicans were all too unwilling to learn more about his bank records, his travel records, and his phone logs. Bob Mueller is going to learn all about it.
Greg, I'm looking at this treasure trove. They got voice recording, they got telephone. Apparently, Cohen was recording telephone conversations, probably with his client. All this stuff is now in the hands of the master, deciding how much is going to be used in this investigation.
Yeah, there's clearly a lot there. He clearly knows a lot
about
all things Trump, and so this will be very interesting. In terms of what exactly is going on with this change in legal team, time will tell. What will be telling, I think, most telling, is who he hires next. If he hires a high-priced, first-rate legal team, we know that he's serious about fighting this, or he's serious about cooperating and wants a team who can cooperate effectively with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District. So we'll see who he hires, and that'll tell us a lot.
You might go for Brendan Sullivan here in town. Go for the big time. Anyway, Cohen's cooperation could pose a number of possible dangers for Trump. When it comes to the payoff to Stormy Daniels, the president first denied knowing where the money came from. That is until his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, revealed it had come from him.